What's up, everyone? Welcome to your weekly tech update, the show that explores the newest, coolest, and craziest side of the interwebs. I am your host, Ray McNeil. Coming up on the program today, you gotta check out this $26.5 million Star Wars themed mansion. It's incredible. NASA's Mars helicopter has shattered its previous record in its fourth aerial adventure on the Red Planet. Happening in this week's based on the apparent beloved DC comic, however, I must admit I have never heard of it. Sweet Tooth is a post-apocalyptic fairy tale about a hybrid deer boy who goes on an extraordinary adventure. And of course, we'll wrap up the program with this week's Moment of Joy. All that and a whole lot more coming up on today's edition of your weekly tech update next. Hi everyone. The ultimate shrine to Star Wars may not actually be at Disneyland or anywhere else in the galaxy. It's this absolutely gorgeous property in Hidden Hills, California. It went on sale back in 2020 with an eye-watering asking price of $26.5 million. It's listed by the agency. The abode is an 18,000 square foot home. It's loaded with incredible collectibles, life-size props, and a Star Wars themed home theater. With May the 4th almost upon us, feel the force, and let's go on a tour of this amazing Southern California property. The entire 5,000 square foot basement is Star Wars themed, and it's honestly far more awesome than you could ever imagine. Here's the landing, complete with a Starcade machine and foosball table. According to Arvin Haddad, he's the star of the new CNBC show Listing Impossible and one of the agents for the property. Many homes in Hidden Hills go overboard with unique basements. Having a tricked out basement is a must-have in the ultra-luxury, celebrity-studded town of Hidden Hills, he says. Homeowners here love to highlight their personal lives and their passions, and this seller is beyond passionate about Star Wars. While the seller is willing to negotiate the inclusion of the Star Wars collectibles in the sale of the home, Haddad said the eventual billionaire buyer, perhaps a pro sports player or movie star, will have the option of remaking the basement into whatever he or she is passionate about instead. Before you ask, no, these canteen patrons aren't movie props. In fact, the owner found that the actual movie props are too low quality, so he hired the artist to remake everything in a much higher quality. Here's a great focal point. This pillar with 5 rows worth of Stormtrooper helmets. Yes, that's totally a 74Z speeder bike sitting next to it as well. There's a Clone Commander Gree, Yoda, and a Cold Assault Stormtrooper that guard a wall of highly collectible Star Wars toys. Here you can check out the Bounty Hunters, IG-88, Bosk, and 4-LOM. They overlook a little comfy seating area with a TIE fighter suspended overhead. You can play on an incredible dual television gaming setup as well. Note the pair of PSVR headsets for the PS4 along with a pair of Microsoft Kinect sensors for the Xbox One. And yes, you can totally see Han Solo frozen in carbonite through the double doors. But this area is only for gaming. There's a separate Star Wars themed home theater waiting just down the hall to the right. But first, you'll need to pass by Darth Talon, Darth Maul, and a room filled with even more drool-worthy Star Wars collectibles. Here's a closer-up shot so you can better see the droid, the B-1 battle droid, and the life-size replica of Darth Vader peeking out from the next room. This is how classic Star Wars action figures were meant to be displayed. in their own room, surrounded by Star Wars figures. If you'd like a movie snack, continue ahead and we get our first look at the mansion's home theater. Note the droids you're looking for on the left and the neat little concession area to the right. The most epic Star Wars theater ever is in the next room. Think you have an impressive home theater set up at home? Well, it's not when you compare it to this Star Wars themed setup. Check this thing out. Seriously, you can't even get a Star Wars experience at Disneyland this luxe, comfortable, and private. The lighting is absolutely perfect, and 4 of the seats are on hydraulic lifts that move with the movie action, delivering a multi-sensory experience while you watch. When you're this rich, of course, you can dedicate an entire room to guitars, so in addition to a love of Star Wars, the owner of this home clearly has a love of music as well. And not only that, but if you want to witness a real Star War, the home comes with its own freestanding observatory building just outside. And that does it for most of the Star Wars themed parts of the house, but there's still much more left to go. There's a wine room because, why wouldn't there be? How's this for a mind-blowing feature? The mansion also has a pool that snakes inside the home. Even more mind-blowing, the pool doubles as a water reservoir in case of emergency. The home is designed to be resistant to an EMP attack. In fact, it is self-sufficient off the grid for up to an entire year. The outdoor part of the pool area has a total resort feel, complete with 2 waterfalls and a water slide built in. The pool looks especially stunning at night too. Of course, you've got your own home commercial gym. It even has tennis courts. And check out the main entrance to the home. It's a dramatic staircase along with a wall of minerals that are all on display with a nice little sitting area. We don't know who your immediate neighbor would be in this gated community, but the town of Hidden Hills is home to loads of high-profile celebrities, including Drake himself. If you want to learn even more about this house, you can check out their listing on the web or contact Arvin Haddad with the agency. We are definitely into the next space race. Tani, I'm going to say, the core module in China's new next-gen space station has launched into orbit, kickstarting 18 months of construction in low Earth orbit. Slated for completion in late 2022, the space base is designed as a scientific research outpost for China over the next decade, provided the launch and the build all go according to plan. The station is going to become the 12th object humans have called home in orbit since Russia's Salyut-1 back in 1971. It will also become the only other operational space habitat outside of the ISS. Why is China building a space station? Well, space science and human spaceflight capabilities, mostly, with a healthy side of geopolitics. China has been barred from participating in missions to the ISS since 2011, after the U.S. Congress passed a law preventing American contact with the Chinese space program, citing national security concerns. In September of that same year, China launched its own space station, which operated for a touch over 4 years before its service was ended. China's space program conceded it lost control of the station in early 2016, and 2 years later it came crashing down, landing in the Pacific Ocean. A follow-up station was launched in 2016 and deliberately deorbited in 2019. Both provided a test bed for the Chinese space station that they are now launching. When complete, the CSS will be a quarter of the size of the International Space Station and contain 3 modules with the ability to support 3 astronauts for stays lasting up to 6 months. The station is expected to orbit at around 230 miles above the Earth. That's about 20 miles lower than the ISS, with the ability to move up and down in orbit as necessary. The core module is approximately 55 miles long and weighs in at around 24 tons. Its chief purpose is to provide a living space and life support for astronauts visiting the station. Throughout 2021, China will fly 11 missions to construct the station in orbit. Eventually, it will be joined by 2 other modules where scientific research will take place. The laboratories will be kitted out with a range of racks, allowing experiments in material science, biotech, fluid physics, and life sciences all to be undertaken by the station's astronauts. The station will feature 5 docking ports as well, allowing resupply missions and crewed flights in the future. The 3rd mission will be the first crewed mission to that station.